when you're certain, when you have that emotional juice in you, it's like a reserve, you know. And yeah, you feel invincible. It feels like it's not questionable anymore. It's a done deal. And I don't want to say just go and get it. It's like, but you feel a sense of security in that. You feel the sense of like, my stash is safe. My stash is safe. Who I have to become, you know, to access the combination to that vault that holds my goods, that's where the fun is, because as I become the more, I can give more, I can share more, and I can make more of a difference. And to me, that's the whole point. You know, that's just the whole point. I was with Gabriella yesterday. We were writing an essay while we were on the call, and I looked over to her, and I can almost cry. A lot of us say it's for our children. Gabriella, we don't live together. So this is not about getting rich for me. This is about putting myself in a position where her father can't hold her as a pawn to use to control or hurt me anymore. And so when I'm sitting there with her, I was like, these are my friends. And she wants to get on camera, but I was like, do your work. And so when I say get the money too, it's about getting me and Gabriella together. So it's really emotional. I have you know, to deal with the court thing and all of that, but it's hard when your kid calls you and say, Mom, how long do I have to live here for? Because she doesn't want to live there, and I'm there with her every day. I'm with her every day. So it's pretty deep. So this whole thing, I thought of, you know, my ads are going to be all about parents in pain, not just about the jobs. There's circumstances that are not normal that parents are going through. And when you have to get up at 7 in the morning, go to a job, come home 7, 8 o'clock and maybe get to say goodnight to kids, that's only one piece of it. There's a lot of pain that parents have that we don't know about. So I know that whatever message is going to come through, it's gonna matter to people, and it's gonna make a difference for them. Because Jordy, you would have never known that you would have spoken to someone who was in this kind of pain when you were talking about saving the world. Here I am, like dying inside, and you're talking about saving the world. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go with him, you know. But that's the beauty of it. If you can get your mind off of yourself and help somebody else out of pain, it eliminates your pain. And that's what I intend to do.
Well, it's such an amazing sentiment, Cynthia, and I'm glad you bring it up. But before you say what I want to say is, first of all, thank you for sharing. It's so beautiful, and there's so much love in the chat, and from everybody, I can see it in their faces. Now you have to go pay that forward, because Jordy does understand, and I've been around him a lot, and
because I did know that I was talking to you.
Yeah, and he actually was in that pain, and he felt, which were felt different circumstances, right? But he was in that pain, and that's what I fell in love with in his beautiful person, in his self and stuff, because it helped me deal with the pain I was in, you know, that never wanted to deal with it or never allowed myself to deal with it. So I just stuck my face in food and, you know, tried to mask it that way. But he came from that, And the fact that he was able to change, look how many lives, how he's touched and shared and stuff. And you know, we were talking the other day how truly important it is for him to do it for him and his wife and his kids, and for me and my wife and my 3 kids. But for us, the greater purpose is the Cynthias of the world. And that's why, you know, it's so important. We said this just the other day on the orientation call to JJ and Wolf, because it's so easy to talk the business aspect of this, and you call people leads and you call them numbers and this and that, and we're not about that. We are about, Cynthia was not a lead to us. Cynthia was a person who was in that pain, and it's not about the money. And we honestly, we don't, I mean, we would love for you to make money, and you're going to make money on this, you know, and we're going to manifest that, no problem. But the fact that we were just able to help you change that part of your life and that realization in your own self, that's the greatest gift to us in the world. And that's why Friday mornings is the greatest time for us, you know. So we're so honored and blessed for you to have shared. Thank you. Thank you for your vulnerability. Thank you for your authenticity, and your beautiful message.
And your love.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We all love you very much, Cynthia.
Yes,
Thank you.
we do.
I love you guys too.
It's so hard to change.
Yeah,
Focuses.
I'm just holding myself. I'm being quiet because I didn't want to break down with you. Like we've done that show already.
But
apparently there are different episodes to the show.
Right.
And there'll be many, many more episodes. Beautiful episodes.
I wonder if Mark wants to follow that now.
Yeah. I know Mark wanted to share, and there was a question, and maybe we can tie it in a nice way. So there was 2 questions about delivering your message. Okay. So, and how does one do that? And how does one structure that? You know, because, you know, as much as we love to share, you're not going to shoot a video of you just breaking down, because, you know, it's not going to be what's going to sell. So how do you turn that pain and that emotion into a very inspiring video? So first and foremost,
I see it differently, I think. Like, it's funny. I see the, I guess irony is not the word, but it's funny because just as you're saying that, Mitch, I'm saying like, wow, like if Cynthia could share that. She was talking about things that she's learned, what she's gotten from our family, what she's gotten from the community, what she will not accept in her life anymore, the pain that she's gone through, what she wants to do, her purpose, and who she wants to help in the world. And, you know, we're not even, let's say, your avatar, your main target market, and you have all of us, you've touched our hearts, you've made us stop, listen, feel, take notice. We want to know what you're doing, who you're listening to. Right now, you told us to click, we would click 10 times, any of us, this second, to see what the hell it is that you found that you think you could, you know, cure your pain and heal your pain and cure your worlds. And I would follow you anywhere to find that out. I don't care if you've achieved it yet or not. The fact that you've had the epiphany and shared that, that's what does it to me. And I think that's what everybody's missing. It's not about telling stories, standing in front of a camera, trying to act real, and putting out this many pain points and a call to action. And no, guys, it's about sharing the epiphany. It's that moment that you realize, shit, that's not how it's going to be anymore. And you tell people how it was, how it's not going to be like that anymore, and why, and who helped you change your mind, and what they've shown you. And that's it. And people are going to want to know, anybody that relates to your story or feels similar or you know, any type of pain is going to want to know, is going to want to meet the people that you've met that are giving you this love, this friendship, this education, this coaching, this way out of your stuck situation. I want to meet those people. And I did want to meet those people when I heard the last person's story, and you wanted to meet those people when you heard my story. And that's what it is. It's not about standing, looking pretty, and producing an ad. It's about getting in front of the damn camera and crying your eyes out with your heart and saying, I felt so much pain and I can't live like that anymore. I won't live like that anymore because I know that there's better now. Like Jan said, I'm not going back to my job. I'm not that guy anymore. I can't be that guy. Doesn't work. Done. I don't care. I'll be starving with the love of my life on a beach somewhere, and that will be paradise. Because the money doesn't matter. Nothing else matters. It's love and it's fulfillment and freedom. That's it. That's all. That's all there is. And is there a person on this planet that doesn't want that? Like, seriously? And if that person exists, you don't want them anyways. You don't want them to listen. And someone that says, oh, you're full of shit, you don't want that person. And you want to say to people, and you're talking to them, if you guys think I'm full of shit, do me a favor, don't click, because I don't want to talk to you later. I don't want you part of my family. But those of you who do believe what I'm talking about, because it's true and I'm living it, and I found it, just let me show it to you. That's all I ask. Do yourself that service and let me show it to you. That's all. I'm not a marketer. I'm a being who is in pain, that found something. I just found something. I took a shot. I believed in myself for 1 second and clicked on something when everybody else said, you're not going to go and click on shitty, like, stupid things on the internet. And I just did it. And look at what I found. Like, I don't even know what's inside this machine that I hang out in all the time and all these people around the planet. You know, that's why we're talking about getting out and going and touching and sharing some hugs and some real live energy. Because sometimes it's like, shit, like, is this real? This can't be real. This is too wonderful. This is what I do now. I spend my time hanging out with my friends, my true friends, who I can cry in front of and talk about what troubles me and what I need to overcome and what I have overcome. And the things I have overcome and I have learned, I could share them. And I could share them in a crazy, hypermanic, you know, ADD sort of way on a certain day, in a depressed mood in another day. If I'm depressed, I'm not hiding from you guys. I'm showing up here on Friday. I wouldn't ever hide from you guys. I would hide from those out there. And sometimes not even. I'll just stay in my own quietness, you know, and not really socialize. But here, you get whatever me is showing up today, the me that doesn't shut up and yak, and like, you know, to the point that I'm like sick of hearing myself. Sometimes you get that me. You know, you get all kinds of me's, and that's what it's about. And don't you want to be with the people that accept you without judgment unconditionally? So go talk to those people. Say, this is me. This is my story. This is the pain I felt, and I'm figuring out a way out of it. And if you want to figure your way out of your pain, maybe come check out what I've checked out. That's it. That's all, folks.
God don't praise me because I beat Joe Frazier. God don't give nothing about Joe Frazier.
Sorry.
Mic drop.
England or America, as far as real wealth.
All right, guys, I'm gonna let Jordy go shoot a video right now.
I think I just did. That's what I mean. That's what videos are. They're not videos. They're just sharing. Share with passion. Like Stu said to us when we had that talk with him that day. You know, only shoot a video when you're inspired. You know, and this week I'm inspired. I didn't shoot videos for a few weeks because I wasn't into it. And instead of saying, oh my God, fuck, I haven't shot any videos, I can't believe we're not doing work, we're being irresponsible. No, it's like, whatever. When it comes, I've learned that about myself. When it comes, full force. And so I grabbed Mitch the other day and I said, okay, it's here, come, let's grab the equipment. And we just drove in the car. Where we go, I don't know. We'll know when we get there. And that's what happened. We went on an adventure. Find those adventures, guys. Like, just, the adventure could be sitting on the floor in the corner of your room and just snuggling up with your phone and just like this, you know, and just talking. And listen to it back after, because that one heart that you might touch might be your own. And maybe you need a dose of that every once in a while. That's what I was saying about putting it on YouTube. I watch me on YouTube. I watch Mitch. I watch Stu. I watch Scott. I watch a few of you. That's what I like to do. Because I need to talk to me. Sometimes I need to hear me, because I need to listen to myself, get me out of my own way. So the most powerful things about my videos are they get me back on the road. And if they could do that, I'm sure they could do it to some of you. Do that for yourself and do it for others. It's important. Who's next? Mark, in case you didn't want to follow Cynthia, now you got to follow me.
Maybe share your dancing way.
Hey, it's a tough act to follow, but it goes back to your YouTube conversation. I just wanted to prove his statement. About a month and a half ago, I was doing okay getting leads, but I went to Jordy and I was kind of complaining that I wasn't getting leads as quickly as I thought. Most people don't know me. I've been doing this just a year, and so I was averaging, about 8 or 9 leads a day over the last 3 months beforehand, and then I talked to Jordy, and he said, "Look, you know what? Your message." He looked at my Facebook ads and he said, "Hey, you know what?" He was stern with me, but honest, and I was grateful to get the coaching. He said, "Look, you have to do this and do a handful of things." And he spent very good quality time with me. I don't know how long it was, but it was very generous the time. It was enough where he taught me some basics, and he said, "Yeah, and get onto YouTube." And I was really, for all the reasons you guys have mentioned, fearful, because I didn't want to air myself, publicly, because it's embarrassing. And I'm not one of the lifestyle team people that's beautiful and young and pretty. But so I listened to what he said, and I shot a video, and it didn't come out that great. And he said, "Yeah, this is what you should do. Try this." I shot another one, and finally, we haven't talked actually since I put any of my videos on. So I wanted to share it because it was a pretty good result. Basically, since I put my videos on just over a month ago, I've gotten 221 subscribers from those videos. And a year ago, I had shit all skills. I mean, I thought a computer, was what you sent and received email. So, if you're newer and you're just starting out, you should hear it as a testimony to the SFM, but then also to the latter part where you guys said the community, because I never knew either of these guys, and I saw, I don't know, somehow I saw Jordy, I think just because I work out and I listen to YouTube to get motivational, and Jordy kept on popping up because I listened to him, and he wouldn't get away from me with I finally figured it out. So when I saw him in Phoenix over a couple of adult beverages, we joked that I think I knew every line to his video as well as he did. And but the truth is, it works. It takes a lot of strength and resiliency, because it is a numbers game. it's a sales thing, and I'm still struggling to find the right thing. And I think one of the things that attracts me to Jordy as a person is that he is much more of the person that I think I'd like to be able to share myself. I think to the people that know me, I'm as vulnerable as Jordy, but I think Jordy is this way with a cab driver or a meter maid, and that's part of the beauty of the Play at Life Club. You know what I mean? So for what it's worth, say thank you, Jordy, for pushing me, because that was totally out of my comfort zone, and you did that. So thank you. And I have still ways to go, but I would never even thought to, I swear, I was so up against it. Greg and Fiona told me to change or try to change, and so did the lifestyle team, who was people that brought me in. And I was like, yeah, I mean, coming from them, because they're the pretty people and they're 20 years old, and gravity hasn't touched their body yet, and they haven't got the over 50 metabolic slowdown, as I have. So it really, when I find, I don't know, I guess at the right time, what they say, when the time is right, the teacher comes, and you just basically slap me into the position where I was like, okay, I'll do it. So if you're on the fence, you don't have to wait. Just start. Thanks again for everything. I'm done, and I'm sorry I can't make you all cry, but thank you. And great share, by the way. I'm not trying to minimize your excellent and powerful shares. I just, that's why I wanted to say that's what I wanted to say.
Actually, Mark, your humor and your beautiful comments touch us in another way, and it's just as effective and just as much appreciated as Cynthia's. I want to correct one thing you said. You said that Jordy did that, and he didn't do that. He inspired you, but you were actually the one that did it. You were the one that got out and did the work. Okay, and that's what I talked about much earlier. You have to get out and actually do what we're trying to teach you guys to do, right? To just listen and say, oh, that sounds great, blah, blah, blah. But you actually hit the pavement and you did it. So thank you. That's hugely inspiring, and hopefully it lights the fire under the other people saying, you know what, I feel like that too. So maybe they'll get out and do the work. So thank you, Cynthia, thank you everybody, Jan and Judith for sharing today. Absolutely amazing, incredible.
And Mark, I mean, there's so many things I want to say to you now, so thank you for all of that. But and I'll thank you later when I talk to you. But I'm saying this to you, but sharing it with all of you, and it's just about video. Did you see, and Mitch mentioned it, did you see how when Mark is talking to a group of people, he's just him? Like we all are, a little bit bashful at first, and because all of a sudden you're talking in front of everybody and it's people you don't know, and you just come after like some very emotional stuff and et cetera, but your best you, your true you, your humor you, your natural you comes out and flourishes. And I find you and so many of us stand in front of the camera thinking, shit, I gotta film an ad, and all of a sudden we're like this. And all of a sudden we're talking to the camera, trying to instill emotion in people and talking about this thing that we found and how it could influence somebody's life. You guys get what I'm saying? Okay, and that's what I keep on trying to coach Mark a little bit, and so many of us. And it's interesting because what you said is that I could probably talk like this to the cab driver. Yes, now I do. One of my favorite times is at the grocery store at the checkout line, especially at Costco, because I find everybody in Costco is in a good mood. So I love having fun with those people as I'm putting the groceries all on the conveyor. But it wasn't always like that. I was a very quiet guy. I didn't talk to anybody. I didn't think that people understood my quirky humor, and that I didn't think they needed me to share with them. And I was kind of selfish and didn't want to share me with them. And I wanted to live in my bubble. And I wanted to complain all the time how nobody gets me. And I can't go out with other couples with my wife because I don't like the conversation and I don't fit in with those guys. And nobody this and nobody that and all of this shit that was all about them. And you know what, guys? The day all that changed and all of a sudden I was just me, unconditionally, life changed. And it doesn't matter, because sometimes now what I find is that checkout person who's had a shitty day and they're tired, and when you look at them and you just say, aren't you dying to get out of here already? Like, you look exhausted, and they're like, oh my God, you have no idea. You know, and you just start up a conversation and they're your friend all of a sudden. And you've touched them. And if you say, you know, and you just talk about stuff. And when you go for dinner and somebody, you know, and you don't know what to talk about, and you say like, oh, wouldn't you rather be like out on the slopes than here? Are you a skier? And you just go in a direction with something that you love talking about. And all of a sudden you're like, wow, I could talk to people. And you see that the people feel better. And then it's like a drug, just like this is a drug, right? Like, you know, like Cynthia's getting that drug when she was talking before. Like, she knows, she feels the effect that she's having, not just on herself, but on us. Others have had the effect on her. Now she's sharing. I texted Mitch while she was talking before. I said, oh my God, this girl is leadership. Like, the amount of people's lives you're going to save are going to be unbelievable. And it's not, like Mitch just said to Mark, that's not because of me. All I offered you was friendship and maybe a little guidance based on what I figured out. Okay, now you're going to offer that to the next one. Mark's going to offer that to the next person. And that's what we're doing, guys. Don't put it so big on our shoulders. I'm not some martyr. I'm not some guru. I'm not that guy. The one thing that I really did figure out is just to be me and to share that person. And that's what you got to figure out for yourselves. And when you start to share that person, everything's going to change, you know, everywhere. And then all of a sudden you're good. It's not going to be an ad anymore. You know, it's just going to be that piece of content that you shared in order for people to connect with you, so that maybe they could change their own lives, because they have the power to do that. You're not selling anybody anything ever. You're just being true to you and sharing that person with different type of media or in person. And, you know, in order to live a fulfilling life, that's your obligation. Because it's selfish to keep that wonderful person to yourself. And so, I didn't realize I was so emotional today. You did it, girl. You did it again. And thank you for it, because it's our obligation. You know, and that's what that cliche about getting out of your own way. You know, you need to love you, and you need to share you, because what a shame to spend life on this planet, if it's real or if it's not. And I don't know some days, but you know, interacting with everybody else like we all do, busy all the time. But to do that in the cold and in the dark, in sadness and sorrow and fear and pain, to only figure it out on your deathbed or never, how sad is that? And could you imagine how many people end up that way? And you see them when you're in traffic. You see them when they're behind honking their horn at you to get out of the way because they're rushing to nowhere that they want to be. You know? You see it when a parent is aggravated and on their phone and their child's trying to get their attention for something they're excited about, and they're like, stop! You know? And maybe just something that you say to somebody, in some way you touch them, could change their life. So those of us who realize that we have that power, it's our obligation. You don't have to be a guru. You don't have to feel like it's on your shoulders to save everybody's life. But it's our obligation, once you've come this far, to take the next step and share that little piece of yourself, so that a person might just open their eyes, their hearts to possibility and change something in their life, so that they don't live in the dark and the cold and the pain. That's all.
Love you, brother.
Love you too. Love you all.
On that note,
what was next? I'll keep doing it, and you guys could keep deciding who wants to fall.
I think that was a beautiful way to end.
Yeah.
He wants to know, how do we treat each other? How do we help each other? So
Amazing, everyone.
I'm gonna dedicate my life to using my name to helping
Have an
charities,
awesome weekend.
helping people.
That doesn't happen
uniting
often.
People, bring people bumming each other.
Okay.
because of religion.
Sorry to be
Mitch,
the
that took your breath away.
Yeah, sorry to be the showstopper, everybody.
So when I die, if there's a heaven, I want to see it.
What are your amazing plans?
We will be traveling most of the year.
Oh, really? Wonderful.
Yes, we don't know when we will start exactly, but it looks like the end of April and maybe earlier. And Jan has made huge steps.
Yeah. I'm about to go into the process of quitting my job.
Oh, wonderful. How does that feel?
It's great. It's
Scary?
I dropped on Monday after a long time being at home, and that's not me again. That's not me anymore. And I sat there and felt I don't want to go back. If I do this, it will be, or let me say, when I go back to my job and will stay there, then I'm there where I was last year, in the beginning of last year, and that's where I never want to stay. And so we had a long talk, Judith and me, and so I decided to step into the process of quitting my job.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Yes.
I completely relate to the feeling.
Yeah, and so we will be able to live our dream of traveling and work while traveling.
Ah, that's so
We
wonderful.
have been in Spain for 10 days, and we have been so much more productive than the weeks before. So even though the sun was shining and it was distracting, but we have been much more productive than staying here at home. So we realized that we're just wasting time if we don't start living our dream lives. And it's not hindering us. It's more like if we postpone this now, then we will postpone it again and again, and that just doesn't make sense. So, yeah, we're very excited.
When I'm cold